Guess who's back? It's that boy Pete and Chugs, and we don't give up. I'm sorry. Welcome back, Birds of a Feather, on another Thursday night. Happy to be here. Schedule release party. Maybe the Sixer Swan song. We don't know yet. Early third quarter. Heat on the run. We'll see. But we're going to talk about it. So let's go.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like or this game he stink!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Birds of a Feather on A2D Radio, brought to you by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code A2D at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and everywhere you download your podcast. So if you're tuning in live or catching us on your commute, we appreciate the support. Chuck's here. My boy Pete back from watching Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which I have not yet seen. So we're going to keep that under wraps for another week. But what's good, Pete? How you doing?
I cannot complain. I am straight. It is what it is. Biz is biz. I mean, Doctor Strange, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 in the MC universe as a whole. As a Doctor Strange movie, 8.5. Slightly better than the first one.
Slightly. Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing a lot of the same.
The Eagles schedule is out. It's kind of a lull period for us here, for as far as football is related. Not much we could do about that, but we're going to talk about it. News keeps happening. I mean, Tom Brady, 10 years, $375 million. Is he worth that money? No, at all. And he's a GOAT, but he's still not worth that at all. That's it. They just handing out money, man, left and right. Left and right.
They are. Well,
tell me a job where you haven't proven yourself. Like, you a banker, right?
Yes.
I'm an insurance agent. You tell me where they have media for bankers or insurance agents and they just handed out that type of any profession, any professional profession, and you can go commentate about the same profession. You just got done at a very high level. Don't get me wrong, but where you just handing out that money?
Nowhere. So we'll get into that. Maybe we'll see.
Jimmy Butler deserves this. I just want to say, all those Jimmy Butler this, Jimmy Butler. Listen, that was the best Sixers team since probably Doc and them won a chip. That 2019 team.
That was because we had a closer.
I'm about to turn this off. I can't. It's over. Writing's on the wall, people.
Yeah, this looks like it's it.
I mean, I hear that, like, real quick. We'll just peel the Band-Aid off. Nerdy Sports Guy says Sixers are effing killing me. This is what you should expect. Once he went down with the concussion and the broken orbital bone, I think games 3 and 4, I think Miami kind of let the foot off the gas and kind of seen what they was working with. And they knew what it was. I mean, Jimmy Butler literally just lost a fucking shoe and James Harden couldn't hit a wide open shot. So, but I'm like I said, like I told Chucks before we came on, I expected the worst, hope for the best. We're just not better than this team. Not so much for the cream of the top players, but just for the fact of overall system. We looking for calls when we should just play through contact. Like, you're Tyrese Maxey, you're a second-year player. You're not going to get bailed out with that call.
But I hate that, Pete. I hate that about the NBA. I like this kid. It's not just that one play. It's like all the time. He drives and he attacks and he gets contacted. He gets fouled. He doesn't get calls. This is one of the things I've always hated about the NBA is that you get the benefit of the doubt when you're a star. I don't like that. Call it even, call a foul, regardless of who you are, regardless of how good you are or not. I don't like that star players get preferential treatment. And if you're a younger player, you have to earn calls. What's that about? I
wouldn't say earn calls.
What do you think Maxi's doing? And like it's not just Maxi, it's young players in general. They constantly have to earn calls. They have to earn their way to get those types of benefit of the doubt calls. And it's the most BS thing about basketball. It is. I'm sorry.
We just got tripped. It's a shit show. But this is how it is for all Philly teams when they get to a point in the playoffs. And I wouldn't say if Embiid was right. The last time the Sixers played a playoff game this year where we had a show was Thursday night in Toronto, Game 6. And you see what happened. That was a much healthier team, a different team. I wouldn't say a less coached team more than Miami, but it was just a different situation. It's just a different situation. In Miami, this culture is not talked about enough for the Heat. I've said it before. I think Spo is not, if not the second best, maybe the best coach in the league. It's a very well-run organization. And this is what happens. Could they be a shit number one seed? Yeah. Could they be a fake number one seed? But you just don't have a healthy Embiid enough to carry this team. You don't.
You don't.
And it shows tonight. And this is the leadership when you look at Doc, and he ain't it. Milton ain't you. This whole team needs to be revamped. Outside of, to me right now, Maxey and Embiid untouchable. Everybody else, I don't give a fuck about.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
Everybody else, I don't care about. I don't care about. Maxey and Embiid untouchable. Everybody else, I don't care about.
Yeah, I know. I agree there. I agree. Well, anyways, guys, besides basketball, which we'll continue to give some live reactions to, which it shouldn't be much the way it's going. The way it's going, this looks like it's over. So we might not.
Embiid just got his shit palmed by Adebayo. Palmed. All right. I can't.
Yeah, it's not. He's not. Embiid's not himself.
No.
Anyway,
and he has nothing to show for it because he didn't win the MVP.
Yeah.
I agree with that, Mr. Wink. He needs to grow up.
He
needs to grow up. Go ahead.
We need to get into football. We're going to talk about the schedule, which was just released. Figures only the NFL would have a special regarding the schedule.
On multiple channels, right?
On multiple channels. But anyways, we will give our own special. We'll give some reactions to the Eagles schedule and some of the best games. We'll go week to week. I mean, we have nothing else to do, right? I mean, we're not watching this game. We'll go week to week and point out some standout games that we are looking forward to. And then in the second half of the show, we will talk about the Eagles state of the roster post-draft. So what does it look like now moving forward? I know we are still some free agents we would like to sign. Hopefully we'll sign James Bradbury. But we'll see what happens. As of right now, though, what does the roster look like going forward? And we'll also get some of Pete's thoughts on the draft since he wasn't here last week. So that'll be the second half of the show. And if we have time, which we probably will, we'll end the show with No Huddle once again. But the first half of the show, it's brought to you by eXp Realty LLC. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, if you're looking for a change in career or a brokerage, contact Alan Foy of eXp Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at alan.foy@exprealty.com. All right. So first half of the show, we'll get to the poll question in the second half because the poll question has to do with the Eagles. If you are watching now, you want to answer, definitely chime in on the poll question now. But if you want to hold off, stick with us, and then we'll get to that in the second half of the show. But let's get into the schedule release. And I've got the Eagles schedule here that I'm going to pull up right there for you. All right. So
I can't see the bottom because of the sponsor. Sorry, Alan. You got to go.
Real quick, Alan. Okay. So let's look at this, guys. and I'll definitely get to you some of the comments regarding the schedule as we go along. But I browsed through this or looked through this real quick before we went on. Some very interesting stuff. The first thing I looked for, because of course I would, I have a Disney World trip in November, so I was looking at the games that are going to be playing while I'm away on my trip.
Right.
Luckily, the one game week 10 is against Washington on prime time Monday night, so that works out.
Right.
So I can watch it at the resort. And then let's see, yeah, it's that one, and then week 11 against the Colts. I'll probably have to find a place to watch that one. But yeah, those two games are on my trip. So luckily, one of them is in prime time, so that really works out for me. But let's go through it. Looks like we start off week 1 on the road against the Detroit Lions. Where's Don at?
I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I was
Don
just looking for
always
him
on
too.
late. He's always on for like the later half of the show. But yeah, so we're opening against the Lions.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
I like opening the season with away games because you don't have that extra pressure of a home opener, things of that nature.
yeah,
That's a game that that on paper that's a game they should win.
yeah, it should.
And I know me and you don't like doing that whole schedule prediction and predicting the record, but you can kind of see which games that are more winnable at face value.
Yeah, I mean it's because right now we kind of get to see what we kind of have a better idea of what each team's rosters are going to look like moving forward. We can kind of like say like, oh, this is how like the matchups are going to be. This is how we think we'll match up. I mean, I don't like going like week to week to predicting wins and losses, but I like our chances against week 1. I think it's a winnable game, definitely a winnable game. I think we had the better team as of right now, the way the roster stands. But again, anything can happen. You know, the Detroit, they seem to really like Dan Campbell as their coach. They're building something pretty good there, so they could surprise. I think we've had some issues at that stadium in the past, so I would not be surprised if something like that happened. But week 1 and then week 2. We are prime time against the Minnesota Vikings, and is that a Monday or Sunday night double?
It's a Monday night.
Monday night doubleheader. Yeah, I got to bring up my calendar. Yeah, Monday night doubleheader because I think that's how they're doing it this year. 8:30 against the Vikings at home. That's really cool.
That's going to be a good game. Whatever the over is, I'm taking that. Already, I'm taking the over in that game.
It'll be fun because it'll be. Is it the first matchup of Justin Jefferson versus Rager?
If he's still here.
If he's still here, he could get traded. Yeah, if he's going to get traded
or cut. Yeah,
that should be fun. Or cut. Yeah,
we're gonna have a Rager watch.
Washington, the first matchup of Wentz versus his former team, the Eagles, comes in week 3
in Washington.
In Washington.
If he's the quarterback by then, maybe Sam Howell beats him out
by week 3, or he gets hurt. I would say that the week 10 matchup is more likely that's when Wentz will probably be hurt or get beat out. But I think week 3 is pretty safe to say Wentz will be who we're going to be facing that matchup. We'll see about week 10. Week 4, Jaguars. October 2nd.
Tough.
Is it?
Yes.
It's home. It's against Doug Peterson.
That's why.
Trevor Lawrence.
They got a lot better.
They did, but it is their first year. I mean,
it is. I mean, if you could see that kind of progression, maybe Dougie P when he was here in 2016, his first year. When I say tough, I mean don't expect it's not going to be the Jaguars of old. It may not be the future of the Jaguars, but it's not going to be the Jaguars of old. And once again, we don't know what we're getting at the QB position yet.
Yeah.
I've heard every good thing about Jalen in this offseason. He has the right mindset. He's doing the right type of work. I need to see it on the field. Holler at me at training camp.
Yeah, that's true. I do think that because I always see teams with new head coaches early in the year, I always see that as like the transition period. Like that's when they're going to be getting used to the new system. And that's when you can catch them while, not word off guard, but, look at us last year, with new head coach Nick Sirianni. We won the first game, but then we struggled for the rest of the first half of the season. Struggled mightily. We were arguably one of the worst teams in the league. Mm-hmm. So, it happens constantly. Doug Peterson, I know we got off his first year, got off to a hot start, but then tailed off. And then Chip Kelly, when Chip Kelly was a new coach, we won that first game, and then like the rest of the first half of the year was like it's constantly with teams all over the league. Whenever you have a new coach, that first half of the year is tough, right? So I think that we'll still be able to get we'll have the advantage there. I would favor us. But you're definitely right. They have talent. Yeah, they could surprise. Absolutely could surprise.
And they have a half decent minded coach now who
who hopefully will develop Trevor Lawrence. And so we'll see where that goes. And then we're back at home the following week 5 against the Cardinals. Kyler Murray. We won't have to face DeAndre Hopkins. So with him being out and suspended, we won't have to worry about him. They just got Marquis Brown. They have Rondale Moore.
That's a great fit for them, but I don't know if he's worth the money.
Yeah. So I think that's also a winnable game.
Because I don't like.
Zach Ertz. That's Zach Ertz' homecoming.
But like they sign these players who are like 30 and up. Like it's not. I think we are a more complete team right now outside of the QB position, and even Kyler is showing that he has some growing up to do too. So I like our wide receivers better already. Like as a whole, especially without DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. Nerd Sports Guy says if the Eagles win 14 games, I'll buy a Jalen Reagor jersey. 10-11 games is definitely realistic. I think around 10 wins. Again,
what's the over? I wonder what's the over under from Vegas right now.
Oh, that's a good question. The way I like, if I'm going to do a win loss projection for a season, I look at the team. I look at the schedule from a macro point of view, big picture. I don't go week to week. I just look at it at all like as a whole, and I get a feeling for how I feel about the team. I think this team again is a 10-win team. How many wins we had last year? 9?
9, yeah.
9, yeah. I think we're a 10-win team. I think we're a 10-win team that looks a lot better because, a lot of those wins in the second half of the season came against, weaker opponents. So, I know they do still count, but I think we will be a better looking 10-win team. We'll be able to compete a lot better with some of these better teams, I think. Right. So, I think we'll be a better overall team, but I think 10 wins is where I'll probably as of right now, I'll probably project them at. Week 6, the first matchup against the hated rival Dallas Cowboys. October 16th.
Is that a Sunday night?
That's a Sunday. Okay, that's a Sunday night. I feel like we always play them on a Sunday night. One of our matches is always on a Sunday night. Sunday Night Football, one of the favorite times we get to play the Cowboys. But yeah, that's a Sunday night matchup. That is at home, so that's good. Sorry, I think I said that the Cardinals game was away.
You did. I wasn't going to correct you.
Yeah, sorry, that's my bad. I don't like our track record at that stadium. That's
2008 NFC Championship game. Kevin Curtis.
God, I always remember that.
Larry Fitzgerald.
That's tough to swallow. But yeah. Yeah, but week 6 at home, Dallas Cowboys, prime time. That'll be a fun matchup as it always is. And what's good is with that being that'll be that I hope that's a win because we go into our bye week the neek week
Early
7.
as shit.
It's pretty. I mean, earliest shit bye week would be like week 5. Week 7 is almost halfway through, I guess. But it is early. It is an earlier bye week, which I don't really favor. I kind of like it either right at the midpoint or later on. I'm not a fan of by 7 week, but it could be worse. It could be worse. Yeah.
I checked back into the game and I just
Yeah, down by 13. It feels like worse. It feels like we should be down 20 though.
it's the way that it's just Jimmy getting to his fucking spot every time. And Jimmy's not even the scorer like that. He don't even look the score like that, but it's just so easy to get him to his spot in the mid range. Oh, this is just showing you how flawed this team is outside of Embiid, and really why he should. I'm gonna say he should have won the MVP. You can make the case for Jokic, but you see how much his elevated play hid the deficiencies on this team. Because when he's not at 100%, this team probably is in the play-in. Straight up.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And like I always. Like the whole argument, like, oh, Embiid had better talent supporting cast around him than Jokic does. Like, I don't like that argument because who's to say that Embiid wasn't the one elevating his teammates?
Right.
You know, who's to say also that Jokic, with him being so much better than his teammates around him, he was not padding, but like his stats were inflated because he's just that much better than everyone. So he's the main scorer and everything like that. So like, I don't like that argument that, he had a better team. Like you can easily see without Embiid, the Sixers really aren't that good. And, he did much of this without the second guy, Ben Simmons. So Ben Simmons was out all year and then only got hardened toward the end of the season. So I don't
Ben Simmons may never play another game in the NBA.
I know Brodo has been saying that.
Yeah, he may be done. Yeah. I think if Brooklyn offered him a $50 million buyout out of his contract, he probably would take his ball and go to fuck home. Yeah, and go play overseas somewhere with his soon-to-be wife.
Yeah. Wait, he's engaged?
I think he's engaged now to that chick from the reporter from England. If I'm not the one he was at Wimbledon with.
Oh, I didn't even know.
I think he's engaged.
Okay. I feel bad for her. All right. So after the bye week, Devin England says our 2 losses will come to the Cowboys and then another one to Green Bay. And he says 14-3 easy. Lofty expectations, Devin. I love the excitement. Those are pretty lofty expectations. And it's tough to say easy. I don't know anything with this team is going to be easy, but we'll see. Nerdy Sports Guy says if this defense can produce more turnovers, 12 wins wouldn't surprise me. Possibly. We'll see. Interstate Rivals, Week 8 on October 30th, the day before Halloween. That should be fun.
Yeah, that's a win. Mischief night, win.
Mischief night. Kenny Pickett. Going against Kenny Pickett. It's always fun against Pittsburgh. I have quite a bit of fans who are Steelers friends who are Steelers fans. My brother-in-law is a Steelers fan. We were talking about maybe going to a game, but we're gonna have to wait 4 more years because they want to go to Heinz Field. I've never been to Heinz Field. I've passed through Pittsburgh a couple of times, but I've never really enjoyed the city. So we were talking about maybe wanting to go to Heinz Field, but again, that's going to have to be another 4 years out. This game is at home in Philly. Which did we win that last game? Was it 2018?
Yeah, we blew them out here. It was 34-3. That was Darren Sproles.
The Darren Sproles one, that was
screen game. Yeah, I think that was the exact score, 34-3 or something like that.
Okay.
And that made us 3-1?
3-0. 3-0.
3-0. Yeah, because we beat Cleveland, we beat Chicago
Lost to
Monday
Detroit.
Night Football, and then we beat them that Sunday.
Yeah, and then we lost to Detroit after the bye because that's when we had an early bye week. Lost to Detroit after the bye, and then we won against Minnesota. Yeah, I remember that. All right, so that's the Steelers. Then we play the Texans, prime time. That again, I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but that should be one of the more favorable.
Is that a Thursday game? Is that Thursday? That's Thursday.
November 3rd is Thursday. Yes.
Yeah, that has to be Thursday because I'm just looking at 10:30 and 11:03. That's not 7 days.
Luckily, like with that short time period, we kind of lucked out because it's not against like one of the best. Like it had been against Green Bay. It's like, oh damn. Like
then you got 11 days to get this fan base
riled up. If Carson Wentz is the quarterback, we're going to be seeing him in Philly week 10 on Monday Night Football, 8:15. I will be in Florida, but I will probably try to go out and watch that, or maybe just at the resort. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm absolutely watching that game. There's no way I'm missing that game. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that Wentz is starting. I want to see his return to Philly. I really do want to see it. Week 11 is also that's a fun game. I definitely need to catch. Like week 11 against the Colts that's a Sunday. I definitely want to see how that goes. You got Frank Reich going against his protege, Nick Sirianni. I'm intrigued with the Colts team. I don't know if I can say they're contenders, but
do you think they took a step back or forward this year?
Forward. I think this goes a step forward. I think there was too much inconsistency with Wentz. I think Matt Ryan gives them stability, and I think Michael Pittman takes a step forward. I think Alec Pierce is one of the most – I talked about it last week. That is one of my favorite landing spots for a wide receiver, Alec Pierce in Indy. So I like that. Obviously, you got Jonathan Taylor. So I think they're going to take a step forward. I like them. I think they do make the playoffs this year. So I like that matchup. I think that's going to be a fun matchup to watch in Indy.
Okay.
Following week, that's Sunday night. This is our final primetime game, but we have 5 primetime games in the first 12 weeks. That is a stark difference to last year.
I hope Aaron Rodgers has retired by then.
Luckily, and that's also looking at home. We're in Philly. We don't have to worry about Devontae Adams, but man, with
don't sleep on Sky Moore, bitch.
I'm not sleeping. I'm not.
Sky Moore in that offense.
Sky Moore what? Sky Moore went to the Chiefs.
No, not Sky Moore. I mean Christian Watson. I'm sorry.
Christian Watson. I
knew they got one of them.
Yeah, they got Christian Watson. I'm not sleeping on Christian Watson. Definitely not. But something that you always got to keep in mind is Aaron Rodgers doesn't really trust rookie wide receivers a lot. He doesn't have the best track record when it comes to rookie wide receivers and giving them a lot of rope, as you can say, as you may say. So we'll see if he's a factor come that time. You got week 13. This is a tough matchup. Tennessee in Philly. All right. Against Ryan. I will not mentor the young kid Tannehill and Derrick Henry if he's healthy. Should be interesting. And then we don't. This is our first matchup against what I would say our biggest rival. I always say it's the biggest rival. It's our New York Giants against the New York Giants. This one's away on December 11th, 1 p.m. And then good.
Win. This is a W. I mean, it's the Giants. They didn't move off of Daniel Jones. I understand it's Brian Dable, but that's a win.
You think so?
I think there's a chance Saquon can win comeback player of the year though, or most whatever you want to call it.
I have to see it. I had to see if his athleticism was back, man. Like, because he doesn't look the same. But last year, at least, he didn't look the same.
After all those injuries.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. I don't know if he'll ever be the same. I'm hoping he is, but we'll see. I want him out of New York so bad. Just get him out of New York. Week 15 in Chicago. Cold Chicago. I think Brinkman or someone mentioned it. We will be playing in Chicago December 18th, 1 p.m. Justin Fields. Going against Justin Fields, that should be very interesting. That should be very. So we'll see where the Bears didn't really get him any weapons. So
they took Jaquan Brisker from us though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do. They did. God damn. Jesus Christ. And then a week after, second meeting against the hated Dallas Cowboys.
Christmas Eve. Like, don't fuck
Christmas Eve, 4:30. My gosh. I think, am I still at work at that time?
You're working on Christmas Eve till 4:30?
No, like I don't think so. I think we get out at 2. So I think I'm fine. At Christmas Eve, I think we close the bank early. But I always mix up the hours between that and New Year's Eve.
Okay.
But we'll see. And then week 17 is another one I'm looking forward to. The Saints on New Year's Day, 1 p.m. That's fun. That's gonna be a win.
We win that game. We secure a top 5 pick.
Game. Oh my god. And then finish it off week 18 against the Giants. That is in flex right now, so we'll see which day that ends up being and what time. I would assume that a lot of the games are, or all of the games around the NFL are in flex position for that final week. So that is the 2022 Eagles schedule for you. Pete, which one stands out to you the most? Which one do you think? Which one, like, if you were to go to a game, all right, live, which one would you want to be at?
Go to a game live as far as like the best matchup or just the best atmosphere?
However you want to do it, but if you could pick one of these games to be at live without having to worry about finances and expenses for it, if you could go to one of these games live and experience live in person, which one would you want to be at?
Probably Wentz's return, just because I think it's going to be electric. Outside of that, second will probably be Steelers, just because I just think that's just going to be just the two fan bases together, interstate rivals.
Yeah.
Third to be Green Bay, just because I would love to see Aaron Rodgers in person throw the ball.
True.
Don has his
Don.
0-1. You're gonna be eating at the trash ass Detroit pizza. I will give them, the Pistons have a better bench than the Sixers, but I'll tell them that.
For me, it's absolutely week 10. Absolutely week 10. The fact that it's prime time Monday night matchup against a division rival with Wentz's return, that's just too much to pass up. That's definitely number one on my list. Number 2 will probably be against the Saints on New Year's Day. Although I don't know how much I'd like being in the cold. Out there in the cold on New Year's Day. I don't know if that's... I don't know. But definitely week 10 would be on number 1. All right. So, again, that's a 2022 Eagles schedule. Do you want to take a peek at some of the week 1 matchups, Pete? I think you're muted.
Researching here, sir.
Yeah, let me put it. I'll bring it up on my screen. I have it here. Let's look at week 1. And let's see.
So we kick it off with what? Rams and Bills?
We kick it off with, here we go. Okay. So Thursday night is the defending champions against the Buffalo Bills. That's a good game. That's a good opening night game. I really, really like that. Wow, that's good. You want me to zoom in? Am I too zoomed out?
No, I can see it. I can make it out. That's probably a loss for the Rams. I'm just going to say that.
You think so?
Yes.
I actually would kind of agree. I think so too.
Yes, Devlin. Lord Sixth is Kakashi. Lord Akage from Naruto.
Naruto. Let's see. And then we've got Saints at Falcons. Browns at
That's
Panthers.
week 1, right?
This is week 1. All right.
Bengals, Steelers, I like.
Bengals, Steelers. Niners, Steelers. Bears. Okay.
Browns, Panthers. Is it the return of Deshaun? He hasn't had any punishment yet.
I guess so. Yeah. I'm guessing week 1, Deshaun's playing. Week 1, Deshaun is playing. Colts, Texans, Patriots, Dolphins. Okay. Patriots, Dolphins.
That Dolphins. I wonder how many primetime games the Dolphins have this year.
That's a good question.
Ravens, Jets may be a good one.
That could be a good one. Jaguars, Commanders.
Carson versus his old coach, week 1.
Oh, shoot. Wow. Good job putting two and two together. I like that. Giants, Titans. Oh, shoot. Chiefs, Cardinals, Raiders, Chargers. Well, I was like, oh, that's going to be a good matchup with those two.
Josh McDaniels, his first game back.
But, man, every matchup with AFC West, with any AFC West matchup is going to be good. It's going to be must-see TV. So that's going to be fun. Packers, Vikings, Bucks, Cowboys. Wasn't this the week 1 matchup last year?
Yeah, but it was in Tampa Bay last year.
Yeah, it was in Tampa Bay. Oh, Tampa Bay's going to win again. They're going to win again. And then Broncos, Seahawks. Wow.
Yep.
Russell Wilson wastes no time returning to Seattle with his new team. The NFL really didn't know how to make their opening week really, really good. Set that up. Wow. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. I like that. That's must see. That is must see. I like that. So that's week 1. Did you want to look at it any other weeks, or you just want to leave it at that?
No, this is weekend. I mean, it's hard to go week by week. You know what I mean? It's just because it's so close. Week 1, I think, is a good launching point, and just talk about it and just take the conversation from that. I mean, Mr. Ed Taylor thinks that Philly fans are dreaming. We are good at this. Yeah, I would say Philly fans tend to embellish about their own.
Dreaming about what? What are we dreaming about? I mean,
I don't know if he's talking about us in general or just people in the chat, but yeah, please elaborate.
I don't know. Yeah, that's what I want to clear on, because I don't think us saying that we could win 10 games or projecting us as a 10-win team is far-fetched, considering we won 9 games last year, and if you look at our additions or look at the roster now, the roster has been upgraded. Right. So I don't think it's far-fetched. Again, I'm not guaranteeing anything. So from our standpoint, if you're talking about us dreaming, I don't think that's fair. I think me saying 10 wins is fine. Maybe some of the people saying 13 wins, 14 wins. I can understand maybe, but you never know. This is the thing about the NFL and parity. A lot of us were no one. I don't care who, anyone outside of Cincinnati. No one believed the Cincinnati Bengals were going to reach the Super Bowl.
People in Cincinnati probably didn't even release it. I would say Skyline Chili is a step below. A step below Detroit Pizza. I would say that Detroit Pizza is better than Skyline Chili.
I never had Skyline Chili.
It's spaghetti and they call it chili, bro. That's what they do. They make chili and they add spaghetti noodles, and they call it chili.
Who does this?
Cincinnati.
Why? That's gross. I don't know. I'll try. I shouldn't say it's gross. I've never tried it, so I'd try it, but it doesn't sound appealing to me. It really doesn't sound appealing. So that is the schedule for week 1. Before we end this segment, I wanted to talk about this because, I talked about, which game would you want to be at. So guys in the chat, I definitely want your opinion on this. Which is the best viewing environment or / experience for an NFL game? Is it at the game? Is it at a bar out, watching out in public? Or is it at home? Which one do you prefer, Pete? Like which one, ideally, which one would you say is the most ideal spot for you to watch a football game?
Home.
Home.
Home, or in the right setting with friends. I don't like. First, for one, if I'm going to a game, it's got to be early in the season. I don't like the car. Like I see Don says it's a bar is all right, but then you get your casuals in there, then they start talking this, why they ain't doing this. They don't understand what the fuck is going on. And I can't just turn that off sometimes. So that's why I kind of like to be around fans like my own that we are, I want to say the same issues, but people who just know more about the football out of what it is see. You know what I mean? So I generally can only get that at home. I didn't know they were playing. They got 3 games on Christmas this year too. Good games too.
Ooh, good. What are the 3 Christmas games?
Packers at Dolphins, Broncos at Rams, Bucks at Cardinals.
Nice. Mary's gonna hate me for watching football on Christmas. This is my couch. So, for me, I think that depending on the situation, the game, obviously you can make an argument that there's a certain setting where each is best. Okay. Mm-hmm. I think that for a high, I think for a playoff game, especially like if you're talking about the Chrome always talks about how when he went to that 2018 NFC Championship game for the Eagles, Eagles Vikings, he was at the game and he said that was like the most electric that the stadium has ever been. He said it was insane there. So I think for high stakes prime time games, especially playoff games, being at the stadium and seeing games live is very unique. I think it's one of those where there's also kind of high risk, high reward. If your team loses, you're absolutely miserable and you spent all that money and you're out in the cold. It's miserable. But if your team wins, it's incredible. I think out at a bar is also fun if you're at the right bar. If you have a good viewing spot, the food is good, service is good, that plays into a factor. So that season, the Super Bowl season, Chrome and I, we went every Eagles game we were at the bar near us that he always goes to. So we were there every week. So it was electric because we had the same group of people. The workers knew who we were. So it was a ton of fun. So that was something I'll never forget. But I think that if I were to just take it all in a vacuum and if I were to say overall, what is the most ideal? I'd say at home, but at home with a good group of people to watch it with. I don't really get it's not as fun to me watching at home by myself or just alone. I'd rather have people over, you know what I mean? Or go to someone's house. I think, you get good food. You have a nice group of people to watch it with. You talk, talk over the game with. I think that's ideal. Plus you get a nice comfortable seat, you get Wi-Fi, all of that. That is ideal. I also, another factor that I forgot to mention, I like to have other games on a separate screen. So I'll watch the Eagles game, obviously, on a main screen. But then either whether it's on my phone or laptop or iPad, I like having Red Zone on or something or another game on. Because I like in between, when there's nothing on, if there's a commercial, I like tuning into the other game, obviously, or watching Red Zone. So that's another factor too. So overall, at home with friends is ideal, but I do think every situation, every environment has its own perks, has its own really, really good things to talk about.
Yeah, no, yeah, I can see every valid point that you made for bigger games being there for the bar. I mean, it's just like, especially in a bad performance and a loss, I want to be in my own solace as quick as possible.
That is very true. Yeah.
You feel what
That
I'm
is
saying?
very true.
Like a loss, a bad loss. I'm trying to be on the couch, maybe in the bed, depending on how bad it is. And I don't even like the next morning. I completely avoid every sports channel, radio station. Every like tomorrow, I can tell you right now. Usually, I'll put on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max in the morning. I can tell you right now, based on the Sixers, I'm not putting that shit on in the morning. I'm not putting on Get Up.
I don't know how people watch those shows.
It's because it's easy and you people want to dumb it down as much as possible, somewhat entertaining. I get it, but I'm just saying, like, stuff like that, I don't even want to hear the ambient noise of what, like, I don't need that to make me feel any better, like any worse. Like in a bar, I'm trying to think the last game I watched in a bar. Pre-pandemic, obviously.
Pre-pandemic.
I started watching the last time the Eagles played the Steelers, but it wasn't like it was the Carson Wentz. I want to say it was a 2019, and that was fuck is it a Fulgham's coming out party.
Oh shoot! Okay.
That first half I watched in a bar that I went to my boy's house. But the last game from start to finish in a bar, I want to say it was the Giants in 2018. I was at Landmark in Glassboro because they have 50-cent wings during games, and their wings are ridiculous. And I was there. I remember that. But that I usually don't like. Most of the times it's me and my one boy. My boy, shout out to my boy Ron. I go to his house, and I mean he has a full stop bar. It's usually me, him, and a couple rotating other people that come in, but they all kind of know a little bit, what's going on with the game, and then that's kind of where I'm at as far as going to a game. I don't know. It's just different. Like I honestly, I've only been to preseason games. I've never been to an actual regular season game yet. I've only been to preseason games because it's a lot. I want to say it's not hard to follow. Like I think somebody said it. I think Joe said it. Football, there's so much that happens, and when you follow the ball, you want to see the in-depth in the play. It's hard to catch that live. Hockey, I completely agree. 100% is the best sport to go watch live.
It's awesome.
TV, like every other product, maybe outside of basketball and I would say TV definitely heightens the NFL's product. Heightens the NFL's product a lot. It's a product that is easily presentable on for TV.
Yep.
Basketball the same, but basketball is actually it's fun as hell. It's fun as hell to watch live. Baseball is that just kind of that traditional nostalgia, that classic American stuff, American pastime. But none of them hold a candle to fucking hockey. None.
Hockey. Playoff hockey too. Playoff hockey. Oh my god.
It's so much. It's not hockey is not a product for TV. It's really not a product for TV. You just got but live. It's
amazing
to see those dudes the size of linebackers on skates moving at that speed and crashing into each other.
Yeah, I know. I have a friend who he likes hockey, but like we always like friendly debate. He always talks about how like he's not a fan of hockey, watching hockey. I'm like, bro, like it's so much fun. The reason why I can watch it's entertaining to me is because these guys are going such like the speed. You don't even understand the speed these guys are going at constantly.
Right.
It's insane, and the skill they have, and then seeing that in person, it's amazing. It's amazing. But I agree. Like his comment is good. Joe's comment. I know we have some other people.
Oh my goodness!
Daily.
Fans are leaving.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I changed the channel.
I'm not even watching. I'm just checking out with the score, but that's
I changed the channel. Daily, Mr. Hockey, says, I don't disagree at all. Hockey is the best following baseball. However, I will say if you go to a football game and sit in the second level, it's worth going to see. You know what I like is I've been to a football game where like I went to an Eagles preseason game. It was actually Carson Wentz's first game. It was the Eagles Bucks week. I forget what week it was, but it was Wentz's first action as a pro, or his rookie season. And because the tickets are cheap as heck, we got seats on the first row of the second level, right around like the 50-yard line. And let me tell you, that's the best view I've ever seen of a football game. You know why? Because you can see everything.
That's
everything. To me, everyone always talks about first level seats. No, I've been to an Eagles game first level. I can't see jack shit. Like
right.
I hate that. I can't say that. I'd rather be on the second level where I can make sure I can see enough. So I love second level seats, but I want to be toward the front of the second level. Like that, if I could afford second level first row seats of football game, that experience would be amazing. Because there's no one in front of me. I'm on the first row and I can see everything. And that's the one thing I can't stand about football on TV is the broadcast camera sucks. And I will fight anyone who disagrees. Anyone who says, "Oh, the broadcast camera is how it is." Anyone who complains about when they did the sky camera, the vertical like end zone camera, like I will fight them because you can't see anything. Like I want to be able to see downfield. I want to be able to see the receivers run their routes. I want to see what the secondary of the defense, what coverages they're in. Like I don't want to see constantly just focused in on the quarterback. Like I don't want to see just I want to see everything. I need to see the whole field. So that's what I don't like about TV. But everything else, it is ideal for TV, like you said, because it's you have one play and then it stops, and then you're able to get the TV guys, the analysts, to break down the play. You see the replay of the play, and granted, you have guys who aren't good at analyzing, obviously, but still, the concept is you can break down each play, and that really is great. So, it's everyone's got their little things here and there, but yeah, I agree. Football for TV and watching at home with friends, that's the most ideal. That's the most ideal. I wish, because Donald says college football atmosphere is way better than NFL. It is. Atmosphere is way better. I agree with that, but the product isn't. That's what always gets me. The product is not as good. Like,
there's so many other things that get distracted with a college football game.
I know. And this might be a hot take. Sometimes I just can't stand college football bands. Like when the band is playing, I'm not a fan of that music. Like every once in a while, sure, but then like when you
gotta go to an HBCU, brother. You gotta go to like a Grambling State, or North Carolina A&T game. That's them bands on a different level. We talk about some more other shit.
Bring me. I would love to see that. Absolutely would love to see that. Daly says same with hockey, second level all day, watching plays and lanes open up. It's amazing. It's amazing. Official Facebook says Full White says none football wise, but Sixers should have never let Jimmy go.
Nope.
We won't talk about that. Don says just want to tackle the drummer. Oh God. So Mr. Wing says Howard, you have
ISIS boy.
So I want to check out HBCUs. They're on the rise, so I definitely would love to check out an HBCU. Dexter Dyke says y'all need to discuss the Saints schedule.
Let's pull it up. Next
year's pick will be the top 5. Let's take a look. I'm gonna bring it up on here. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys.
The Sixers should have never let Jimmy Butler go. If we kept him, if we just built around him, let Simmons go, let Toby go, probably have a chip right now. Just saying. Turner and Hooch.
Where
you know what I mean? The Ebony Ivory, whatever you want to call it. They're a match made in heaven, them two. God, that pisses me off.
All right, so let me share my screen here. I was able to bring it up.
What we looking like? What we looking like?
So, yeah, I definitely want to, and I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so you good? You
Yep.
see, everyone can see? All right. Oh, I didn't even share the screen. There you go. Now everyone can see. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let's talk about it. So we have at the Falcons. Falcons could surprise. Let's just say that.
I don't know about surprise that much.
Not that much, but I mean it is a division rival.
Yeah.
Okay, it is a division rival. That's all I'm gonna say. They got Tampa Bay week 2.
Loss.
Okay. Panthers 3 straight division rivals to start the season.
Tough.
Wow, that is surprising. That is very surprising.
That the week 2 matchup, that's at home or is that on the road?
That's at home.
Still a loss.
It's still a loss. This is, I mean,
Yeah.
There's no way Tampa Bay's going to beat them. Panthers, they're probably. I mean, I could see them. They're probably favoring in that game. Vikings at home. That's Vikings at home.
That's the iffy one, man, because their defense is still good, and you added Honey Badger to it.
Yeah.
And Kirk Coupons.
You got Seattle week 5.
That's a win for them.
Yeah, because Seattle can't. They'll have a running game, but
and that's at Seattle. I mean, that's in New Orleans.
In New Orleans, yeah. Bengals. Okay.
Loss. That's a loss.
Okay, that'll be tough
They
for
got
them.
4 games. They got 3 or 4 games in a row at home.
1, 2, 3. 3 straight at home after 3 division rivals. 3 straight at home to start the season. And then they go to Arizona, Cardinals.
That's a loss.
We've got the Raiders.
And at home.
At home.
Josh McDaniels. I like the Raiders, man.
I do too.
They didn't get too terribly bad. You added Devontae, Derek Carr.
Bro,
Josh
the whole
McDaniels.
AFC West. You talk about the AFC West, any team in there is going to be good. The Ravens, okay. Now we're getting to a little bit difficult for them.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers, that'll be
At Steelers. Jameis in Pittsburgh.
okay. Rams.
Lost.
Boy. Niners. I don't want to say it. You know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say. Niners. Let's see. Tampa again. There's just a second match of Tampa.
Loss.
Bye week 14. Okay?
That's good for them.
Yeah, that's good for them.
I think they stay healthy.
Yeah. Week 15 to be determined. Wow, this is flex. Week 15 is flexed.
That's a win.
Yeah. Browns. Deshaun Watson and the Browns, week 16 on Christmas Eve. Okay.
That's a loss.
Us is week 17.
That's a loss.
You know me, I don't guarantee wins, but if I do, I'm telling you, Niners and Eagles for the Saints. The 2 matchups. And then finally to the Panthers. Finish off with the Panthers. That is a pretty tough schedule.
I definitely think it's a 500 or worse schedule.
Yeah, I don't.
And you can't even go 500 now with 17 games.
Yeah, it's hard to see them go. Being a winning team. I mean, just looking at it, 3 division games the first 3 weeks. That's tough. It gets easier. Vikings, Seattle. Because you got Panthers, Vikings, Seattle 3 weeks in a row. Those are all winnable. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they won all 3. But then you go Bengals, you go Cardinals, you go Raiders, Ravens, Steelers. I think is winnable for them, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Go Rams, Niners, Bucks, and then
that's tough. Back to back. Oh,
oof. That is tough. That's very interesting, man. Woo! I can't wait for the Saints to suck. I can't wait. All right.
Is the Sixers season officially over?
I don't know. I don't care.
I think it is.
Yeah. Jesse Davis says What's up, Chucks and Pete? Looks like we're going to have the easy schedule early in the season, then finish with heavyweight bouts. Depends how you look at it. I think it's pretty evenly distributed.
Yeah.
But
there's no lull periods. It's like there is times where they have an easier time, but it's not something that they can rest on their laurels.
Yeah. I don't think it stands out to me overall as I don't think it stands out as like a tough or easy schedule. I think it's right in between.
Right.
Let's see here. Anything else? Dom says Arizona will draft in the top 10 next year. They are going to be bad, is my guess. It depends on Kyler Murray. I mean, we'll see how Kyler Murray bounces back. I mean, they're not going to have DeAndre, which is tough. But, I mean,
for at least 6.
They could struggle. And then, let's see. Russ Williams says, I see CJ Stroud in the future after seeing that same schedule. Wish. So, I mean, like, just real quick, I know we talked about CJ Stroud and we talked about, what's the one from Alabama? Bryce Young. I know there's also people talked about already for next year. Also, Caleb Williams. And then there's that other guy, something Levies or something like that.
Quarterback, right?
Yeah, we're talking about all quarterbacks. I don't know if you guys know anything about them. They've been thrown out.
I mean, I obviously know about the main two. I heard about Levy, kid out of USC. I want to say there's a kid from. There was a kid, Vanderbilt. That's supposed to be somewhat decent. Obviously not. Just hasn't gotten the press that Stroud and Young have, but I think he's supposed to be somewhat decent. Yeah, Caleb Williams. He just transferred to South Carolina, I believe. So that may make him ineligible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dudon says I don't think Caleb Williams. Okay, all right. Yeah, people just mentioned him again. I don't know. They're just talking about the quarterbacks for the upcoming season. So I want to throw some names out there. All right, so we're about halfway. Pete, before we get to the second half, who you got for us for our second half of the show?
So we're going to hit you with a little two-piece. 1 second, real quick. A little two-piece sponsor action. So we got BetUS, the leading online sportsbook, has been in the market for over 25 years. You can sign you can sign up for 125% bonus and literally bet on anywhere in the U.S. on everything. And then we'll get into we're going to combine it with a little halftime sponsor. Check out our doc, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, 2 locations in Burlington and Cherry Hill. Make him yours because he's our doc. Man, actually, I'm going for a knee appointment tomorrow, so I need some physical therapy in my future.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There you go.
This bitch be talking, boy. Be talking.
So, I want to get your thoughts first. Before we go into post-draft roster outlook for the Eagles.
Okay.
You weren't here last week. What are your thoughts on the Eagles draft overall, or just if you want to talk about anything specific when it comes to their 5 picks? If you want to talk about the A.J. Brown pick, or if you want to talk about any other undrafted free agents, whatever you want to talk about, time is yours. Floor is yours.
I'll keep it short. I think quantity is better than quality. No, vice versa. I'm sorry, I fucked it up. I had a Chuck's moment.
Yeah, I was wondering. Okay, like
quality is better than quantity. I would say they had 10 picks. They only ended up making 5, but between that and the UDFA class and what they did on night 1, you made both sides of the ball immediately better. Would we like to see secondary help? Yes. Fucking Seattle. Tariq Woolen at 153. That will forever haunt me in my dreams.
Yo, Seattle stole my guys.
Forever haunt me in my dreams.
Ken Walker, Tariq Woolen, Bo Melton in the 7th round. They stole my guys. What the hell? Go ahead.
I mean, I'm literally sitting here Saturday at work like, oh, fuck, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. It's one pick. Fucking Tariq Woolen.
Boom.
6'4", 426, 40 raw, but God.
Yeah.
No, so Jordan Davis, A.J. Brown, night 1. You hear the Davis versus Hamilton thing. I get it. I understand. Davis, I mean, all the talent's there. A lot of people say, well, he didn't pass rush, he was standing up. That's what his coaching staff asked him to do. And if you go back and you really want to dive deep, which most of the fan, not saying the fan in here, but most of the general casual fans do not, they just take what is airplaned in their mouth and they fucking swallow it and digest it. He was on the field higher percentage of times against better competition. You forget, in college, they had to get these guys in. They're all recruits. At some point, they got another 4 or 5 star recruit behind Jordan Davis. But in the NFL, it's a little bit different story. And then he's not coming into a position to where you need immediate impact. I don't think he will make immediate impact, but it's not something that's a lot of weight is being placed on his shoulders very early from the onset, because you have Javon Hargrave there and you have Fletcher Cox there. I mean, and how much easier you just made everything for Devontae Smith with actually having a true number one wide receiver on the other side of the ball instead of what you call this crap between Jalen Reagor and you're trying to shoot for the moon with Quez Watkins. You know what I mean? How much easier you made it for Dallas Goddard. How much easier you made it for Jalen Hurts. In essence, because now the passing offense should open up more. Easier for Dallas, easier for Miles Sanders. Cam Jurgens pick. But this is what this team does. Would we have liked to see something else? Would we have done something else? Of course. But that's what the Eagles do. The Eagles do that. They did it last year with Landon Dickerson in the second round, and it paid off so far. And I think it's going to be the same from Cam Jurgens. If we have it our way, he doesn't play because that means Kelsey stays upright. He doesn't get hurt, or somebody on the line stays upright. And I say Malo doesn't go down. You know what I mean? So the Kobe Dean pick, that's the most non-Eagles pick in the last 20 years, when they have somebody of that fucking talent who has a first-round grade, who's in a position of need for them. The Eagles and Howie have always fucking outsmarted themselves and did something different and went left instead of going right. This time they went right, and they made the right choice. And they said it. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they looked at him at 51, but they felt as if the drop-off between the Kobe Dean and the linebacker behind them wasn't as great as the drop-off between Cam Jurgens and the next center. That may very well be hold true, but guess what? We don't have to fucking worry about it because we ended up with both of them. You know what I mean? So, and the kid they got at Kansas has some hybrid linebacker defensive end capability. But they made 5 picks. But the impact to the team is, I've seen all these things. They gave it too many picks. And I'm like, dude, listen. You can't. You always take the proven commodity. Always take the proven commodity over the unproven commodity. And you've seen a lot of trades and a lot of things this year with the NFL draft, which I love, because now teams and they're seeing the value in these picks and what it costs and what it takes to get that proven commodity. That's what we see now. So I love it. I love what they did. And that fucking scares the shit out of me, because I've never felt this comfortable with the draft after this for this regime in a long time. But it gives Jalen no excuses. Unless injuries across the line fucking riddle, it gives him no excuses as far as just the offense on paper. The expectations is there. He knows he's probably in a contract extension year. If he has a good year, he's probably looking at an extension. So all the pressure is on this kid's shoulders to perform. And I think, but in the right mindset, everything that we've seen from this kid so far, he is the type of person and type of leader that can handle it. So let's see you handle it. Let's see you rise, and let's see you live up to the challenge.
Yep. A lot of stuff you said, you talked about, I also touched on last week, so I won't rehash. But we agree on the Jordan Davis stuff, about his stuff when it comes to pass rush. We both agree on that. I talked about a lot. I talked a lot about Kennedy Brooks last week, the undrafted free agent running back. I love that.
I keep hearing he's slow, but you don't need home run hitters.
Like, not for him. Like, with the type of running back he is, I don't expect him to be the starter. You're not looking for him to be the lead back, but to me, he's better than Jordan Howard. Okay, he's got better vision. He's got better feet. He's just to me, he's if the compliment to Miles that you're looking for, he's going to be able to fit that really well. Like people wanted that in between the tackles type of runner. You've got one. You've got one that's going to be good. Again, I'm not saying he's going to be anything special. I'm not saying he's going to
you like the prospect,
Yeah.
So real quick to answer Don's question, my cousin Isaiah Pacheco went to a spot that's fucking great for him.
Yeah.
If he can he went to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
He runs like a 4.3 40 with the Chiefs. So he actually just signed his contract a couple days ago. So
congrats.
Yeah, man, it's a good look. It's a real moment, man. And then another kid, a local kid from my area, DB from Florida Atlantic. I want to say Marquis Hall. He was a UDFA for Dallas. I know that. He went to Dallas. So
okay. That's
I think he's a safety, actually. I'll find it. As you were.
Marquis Bell. He said. And he says, congrats.
Marquis Bell, yeah. Local kid.
Joe puts out something interesting. Hurts MVP odds have gone from 40-1 to 18-1. Vegas knows. Interesting. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know if I go that far, but Don also asked, does James Cook get the starting role in Buffalo? I've said it.
No.
He's not a starter, but you're going to be able to use him in that complementary role, and he's going to shine in that type of role.
Who took over the OC for Buffalo now that Dable's gone?
Let me look it up. Bills offensive coordinator is Ken Dorsey.
The former Miami quarterback? That Ken Dorsey?
Ken Dorsey. Let's see. Carolina Connection. Former. Yep.
Yeah, I like it. I just got to see. This is that year. What is this? Josh Allen's fourth year?
2018 class. So 18, 19, 20, 21. Fifth year.
This is where they really start feeling themselves. This is where they feel like they got it figured out, and they start inputting more of what they like in the offense. And he lost Dable. I mean, you lose Dable, the guy who somewhat got you there, obviously his talents, but who put you in the right position to succeed. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see.
And they're not sneaking up on nobody now. You know what I mean?
I do like James Cook there in Buffalo a lot because they run through the passing game. He's going to be a great weapon in the passing game for Allen. Great spot for him. Let's slow down on the starting running back. And I want to say this again. There are so many people out there now that in dynasty leagues, they have obviously Bruce Hall one, and then they have James Cook ahead of Ken Walker, and it's driving me insane. Like, stop, okay? Listen to me right now. If you're in a dynasty league or fantasy football league, okay, or whatever, and you're looking at the rookie running backs, okay, if you're ranking them, I'm looking straight at the camera so you guys can look at me and see how serious I am. Do not rank or choose James Cook before Ken Walker. I am telling you right now, do not pick James Cook before Ken Walker. Okay? James Cook is going to have a great role, but when you're talking about fantasy football, where touchdowns matter, touchdown and volume matter, James Cook should not be ranked ahead of Ken Walker. Ken Walker is going to be the lead back for Seattle. He is going to get touchdowns. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball a lot. Okay? Volume, touchdown opportunity. Do not take Cook before Ken Walker. Telling you. If you want to, go ahead and see what happens. See what happens. So
Let's speak. And Brees Hall and the Jets is a fucking perfect spot.
Glorified scat backs. Go see how they do in fantasy football, and go take one. I'm telling you. And Don points out another point that I talked about last week. They took 2 offensive linemen.
Time to get rid of Russ.
They are going to run the ball. Okay, they're going to run the ball. Telling you, stop with the hype for Cook has gotten so out of hand, and I hate it because it makes me sound like I hate Cook, which I don't. I love watching Cook. I think he's a lot better than just a scat back, but he's not a lead back type of guy. Stop. And just because he has this last name, you've got all these people ranking him ahead of Ken Walker and other really good running backs, especially for fantasy, where a lot of it depends on touchdowns, guys. Goal line work, like it's not hard to comprehend. I'm telling you, do not take Cook before Ken Walker. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. You know it's been bothering me. I've been texting you about it. It's bothering the shit out of me. It's ridiculous. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
No, Don didn't ask you a follow-up question. Where did Zamir White go? I know you liked him as well.
He went to the Raiders, which is a good spot too, because they did not exercise Josh Jacobs' extension. Fifth-year option. So it's possible Zamir White could be the guy, moving forward beyond this year. So if you're in Dynasty or in a keeper league, Zamir White's definitely someone to keep an eye on. For this year, I wouldn't. You've got to. If you're just in a redraft, then obviously he's not going to have much value. But yeah, definitely.
Over on our A2D Live channel, for those who are watching us looking for Sixers reaction, you're going to be entertained on that channel because they just went live, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be some expletives over there because they are not happy. But it is what it is, man. It's just it sucks. They weren't good enough.
Yeah.
They weren't good enough.
Joe makes I agree with him. 2 players are going to be drafted too high this year: Gabe Davis and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think they're going to be overdrafted, but we'll see. I like both players. This is the thing about you got to separate real football from fantasy football. I think Gabe Davis' fantasy value is going to be worse than his actual value. And same thing for Amon-Ra St. Brown. All right, so let's actually get into the Eagles roster. But so let's talk about let's put the poll question up, and I think this is a very good poll question. The Eagles have the best core of offensive weapons in NFC East. Agree or disagree, guys in the chat? Definitely give your thoughts. But look at their offensive weapons. So you've got.
Is the quarterback included in this?
No. Let's not, because if you're talking about just weapons, let's not include the quarterback. Let's just talk about wide receiver, tight end, and running back. Okay, so out of those units, all right, offensive weapons, do the Eagles have the best core of offensive weapons in the division? What say you?
I would have to agree to that poll. Because Goddard's somewhat proven. A.J. Brown's definitely fucking proven. A.J. Brown's the best wide receiver in the division. Devontae Smith is going to take us a step forward. Miles Sanders is maybe not the best running back in the division, but he's not that far behind. And then when you equate, I'll even say our offensive line is a weapon. So I got to equate just as far as getting time for these guys to be used to their best fashion. I think our offensive line is clear-cut the number 1 offensive line in the division, maybe the top offensive line in all of football. So when you have weapons like that and you're going to have a quarterback that can create, I know Chuck said not to include the quarterback. I'm not really including, but just off-schedule plays, I would have to agree to the poll.
I would agree to the poll too. I mean, you're looking at all those positions put together. I mean, it's really tough to find it's tough to look at it and not say, okay, like they're good all around. You know what I mean? Like running back, Miles is a good running back. They've got depth now. Kennedy Brooks, Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, who should take another step forward. That's a good running back group. I'm really excited about that running back group. Wide receiver, you obviously have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, who arguably you can make a case are the best duo in this division alone, like regardless. But they could be one of the top by the season's end. They could be one of the top duos in the whole league by season's end. And then you've got Dallas Goddard, who is one of the better tight ends in the whole league. Okay, you just have to stay healthy. But I mean, Dallas Goddard, when he's on the field and playing, he's absolutely dynamic. We talked about that. So it's hard not to look at these weapons. I mean, the Cowboys, they have Cowboys have, let's see, CeeDee Lamb. We've got
Michael Gallup.
Gallup. They brought back
Blake Jarwin. And old man Zeke.
Zeke is, I don't think he's the same. They have to, I like Pollard. Pollard is good.
Do you think Pollard could take that next step and get all those touches? Can he surpass Zeke and handle all those touches like Zeke could?
Or at least make it more where they want to make it a 50-50. I could see that. I mean, Zeke doesn't look the same. And I was someone last year, I'm not being biased, because last year I had made the prediction that he was going to bounce back. But I was wrong. Like he had moments, but he just doesn't look the same. That burst isn't there. Tony Pollard, you look at him, that explosiveness, and he's gotten a lot better. So, I don't know about the Cowboys. Where they really take a hit is tight end. I think that's their weakest link. That's the weak link of that group. Washington, you got McLaurin. You've got who's the guy they just drafted?
They got
Dotson. They got the rookie from last year, De'Ami Brown. They brought someone else in free agency. I forgot who they added.
I forget. Antonio Gibson as the running back.
And then they added Brian Robinson. Who Brian Robinson, if Gibson keeps fumbling the ball, Brian Robinson could end up being the I won't say lead back, but he could eat his way into majority of touches there.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Robinson, tight end. Who's a tight end? They're getting back Logan Thomas, right? And they have Jesse Bates. That's a good solid tight end.
Solid.
So yeah,
it's not explosive, but it's solid. I'm telling you, this is the last year McLaurin's going to be there because they don't want to pay him.
Yo, freaking McLaurin, get him out of Washington.
They don't want to pay him.
I love McLaurin. And then the Giants. I mean, you got Saquon, who we'll see if he's still. We'll see what he is still. I hope he can get back to how he was his rookie season, but I don't know. Like those injuries, I already said that. I don't know if he's the same. Tight end. Who do they have at tight end now? I don't even know they have tight end now.
I have no fucking clue.
And they have wide receiver. They have the guy they overpaid, Galladay. They have Kadarius Toney.
He's a good 2. He's not a 1.
Yeah. High.
The Giants step chart is.
I pulled it up too. They have Goddard.
They drafted Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton. They still have. Kadarius Toney, who they're trying to get rid of. They signed Richie James.
Ricky Seals-Jones Jr.
Who?
Ricky Seals-Jones.
He was. What team was he at? Was he Cardinals last year?
Or Jets? I don't know. Well, that 2 years ago. I forget. He's been on so many different teams. But yeah, I look at these units for each team, and to me, it's the Eagles. The Eagles, I think the Eagles have it.
Clear. I think it's outside of CeeDee Lamb and maybe Zeke. It's clearly the Eagles. Best tight end in the division, best wide receiver in the division. I mean, best wide receiver core in the division. Arguably, when he's right, probably the best running back in the division when he's right and he's available and he's 100% healthy, which is probably the first 3 carries of this year. But then after that, it's fucking downhill. Yeah, I'm looking at the Commanders depth chart right now. I mean, Logan Thomas, then John Bates as a tight end. So I don't know. It's just it's not looking good. Not looking good.
Yep.
And then when you add in Zach Pascal as well, who maybe we all kind of laughed at that, but now he's your number 3, maybe your number 4 wide receiver. I mean, that's I'll take that over. Let me just take a look at who's the Cowboys. TJ Vasher, Brandon Smith. I mean, I forgot the Cowboys did draft Jalen Tolbert. I like that.
They did. Yeah.
They still got Noah Brown. Sorry. Did they sign James Washington, the ex-Steelers player?
I guess they did. I mean, I've never been a huge James Washington fan.
But he's a go route guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's like a go route kind of yak guy. You know, I never liked his. Never been a nuanced wide receiver for me.
Mm-hmm.
So depth piece, I get it though. I'm bringing up their depth chart too. I mean, they want to get Dallas wants to get their O-line back up, but I mean, they have the reason why they're going to be so good though is, or why you can still make an argument for them in the division as favorites is obviously the quarterback. They have the quarterback, and they have elite players on defense. So that's what Dallas has going for them. Where you can make an argument they are the most top heavy team in the division,
right?
Where their best talents are far and away better, but then they don't really have. Once you get outside of them, they don't have a lot of depth. So that's how you could look at it. So when you look at the Eagles, we talked about the offensive weapons, right? Let's look at going beyond that. The offensive line, obviously, I think it goes without saying. Our offensive line could be the strongest unit out of any team in the whole league. Like, we have backups that could be starters on other teams. Absolutely could be starters on other teams. I mean, we had to.
Dillard's collecting dust like change in the couch, bitch.
Yeah,
he's a first-round pick.
He's a first-round pick, and he's a backup. That's crazy. So obviously, offensive line is one of our strong points. I don't think either of us have any concern about offensive line. The one question I was asked about offensive line: do you think, gun to your head, do you think Cam Jurgens sees some time at guard this season? Like as a starter, whether it's either winning the job outright.
You release Herbig, so your starting 5 right now is Mailata, Dickerson, Kelsey, Seumalo, John Lane. Dillard is a 6th. Who's your swing guard? Is it Jurgens? Driscoll? So I still think Jurgens is behind Driscoll because especially at guard. Is there a chance? I mean, there's always that chance. I think there's more of a chance you can see him at center this year.
Okay.
You know, it's not taking. I'm not saying Kelsey getting hurt or anything like that. Just I can't really see him getting, because with Driscoll there, and so he's 7th on the depth chart. I'm assuming against the offensive line.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say
yeah. I mean, I think Driscoll's definitely a very solid guard option, but I think it's not out of the realm of possibility. I think Cam.
You still got Opeta too. I forgot.
You got Opeta, yeah. But I think Cam, as the season goes on, I wouldn't be surprised if Cam starts to get it. Like it starts to click for him. And he sees if there's an injury to Isaac again. I definitely can see a scenario where Cam beats out Driscoll. I think Cam has more to work on, obviously. I think Cam has more to work on, and especially with him being a pure center, not pure center, with him being primarily a center and needing to learn at guard, I think there's going to be an adjustment period for him. But I think if you have him start to really put things together, I think he brings you more than what Driscoll does at guard. So I think it's very possible we see him at guard at some point. Well, I mean, we'll see. Again, it's a really good problem to have.
Yes.
Really good problem to have.
Mhm.
Defensive side of the ball.
Oh,
Let's transition.
boy.
Here we
Oh,
go.
boy.
All right. So, defensive line, I think we can also say similar to offensive line. I think defensive line we're pretty good on. Like we have some really interesting pieces. So, you got to remember Brandon Graham is coming back. You got Fletcher Cox still there.
Just mashing up names like you're a DJ, man.
You got Fletcher Cox coming back probably, or could be his final year. Javon Hargrave, obviously starter. And then you got Derek Barnett. He will be one of the key backups. But you got Josh Sweat, the other starter, probably the starter opposite Brandon Graham. And then we all talked about Jordan Davis, who will be the one tech / nose tackle person. You can't forget about Milton Williams, the second-year player who looked really good his rookie season. I mean, he doesn't get talked about a lot because he was a backup, but man, Milton Williams looked really, really good last year. So you've got those people. That's good depth. I think that's pretty good depth.
Then, as you go down the list, everything you just said, I'm in 100% agreement with you. I'm not even that upset about the linebackers. Kaiser White, Davion Taylor, Will, Mike, TJ Edwards, Nakobe Dean, Sean Bradley, Sam, Hassan Reddick, Kyron Johnson, Patrick Johnson. Are they related, by the way? Or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I haven't heard of it. Yeah.
Darius Slay, left cornerback, Zach McPherson, Vontae Maddox, right quarterback, back up behind. But then when you fucking look at the safeties, brother, that's you just take the wind out my sails. The wind.
Can we not get to? Can we wait to get to that? God, so all right. The secondary is where it all. That's where it gets interesting. But I wanted to
remember the Kanye West song. It said, "When it all falls down."
Oh my god! Oh my god! It's okay. So linebackers, I'm actually intrigued with our linebackers.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna get to it. Kaiser White, I think will break the mode of our trend of 1 year linebacker.
Can he lose weight and play safety again?
We'll see the way things are going. But we got TJ Edwards, we got Nakobe Dean, we got hopefully Davion Taylor will be able to stay healthy. So I like that group, and you obviously at that hybrid position of linebacker, edge / player, you've got guys like Hassan Reddick, who's going to be standing up sometimes, who's going to be hand in the dirt sometimes. You've got the guy we drafted last year, Patrick Johnson. You've got Kyron Johnson, who we drafted this year. So a pretty decent. I think it's a decent linebacker core. I feel a lot better about this linebacker core than I did last year, like 100 times better. That worry starts to get translated over to the secondary. Corner, outside of Slay and Maddox, man, let's just start with corner, Pete, okay? So as it stands right now, okay, we hope that we can sign a veteran like James Bradbury. I'm not gonna get my hopes up for it.
Right.
But if we're gonna look at it right now, people have been saying that the Eagles, they might like some of these guys more than we're leading on. So you got Zach McPherson, you got Tay Gowan, and you've got who's the other guy? Who's the other guy they got? Kerry Vincent. You've got the undrafted free agents that we signed. Apparently there are people that had Josh Joby and Reed Blankenship or Mario Goodrich having draftable grades. So not Reed Blankenship, sorry. Mario Goodrich and Josh Joby. People had draftable grades on them. So the fact that we got them as undrafted free agent, maybe those are good signings. I don't know. I feel better about CB2 than I do about the safety position. Would you agree to that? Okay, all right. Okay, good. All right, so we agree to that. I know there are people who disagree. There are people that feel better about the safety position than
Who?
Huh? There are people out there. There are the people who are hyping up Marcus Epps, man. People
Now,
are hyping up Marcus Epps.
I can understand that, but I just read to you the depth chart. According to ESPN, Marcus Epps isn't even a fucking starter at strong safety. Like, so
But we know
you
he's
can
going to
hype him up all you want. Like, he's not even there. Real quick, this is the last basketball thing I'll talk about. The seeds have just been planning for Embiid to get traded this offseason. I'm telling you that right now. Jimmy Butler was just interviewed and said he's happy for Joel Embiid. He wishes he was still on my team. Just telling you, I'm telling you now, I'm calling it. There's going to be a chance that because I could see this team and Daryl Morey be like, what can I do to rehaul this fucking roster? And the easiest way to do it that's going to net you the most in return is by trading Joel Embiid. I'm telling you that right fucking now. Oh my God. I had a feeling shit was going to happen when Jimmy went to Miami in the first place. And I'm like, if it don't work out and Joel get this last offseason, Joel Embiid was the one stick in the Kerplunk. Remember Kerplunk with all the marbles? And you pull the sticks out. He was the one stick in the Kerplunk that he was, all right, I don't like this shit. I want out of here. That's all he has to say to Daryl Morey. That's all he has to say to Josh Harris. That's it. It's the NBA. You seen it's starting to work in the NFL. People they're not happy they get moved. I'm telling you, bro.
I'm not gonna even entertain that. You can say it all you want. I'm not gonna entertain that.
I'm just. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, it's the NBA, so I'm not gonna. But I'm not gonna touch that. I don't even want to think about the possibility. What is it? Say it again. What Jimmy Butler had said. Like what is
so? John Clark from NBC says Jimmy Butler just said he wishes he was still on Joel Embiid's team and he loves him. They've always been tight.
Yeah, I know that.
And you're not. If you look at where the teams are, you're not going to be able to give Miami enough unless you give up Maxey to go get Butler to Philly. So it would have to be Embiid going to Miami. Have to be.
I'm not touching that.
Them two bitches together win you a chip. So I don't know how you would have to trade. Toby, Maxey, all of it for a player that you already had and you chose wrong.
No, I know. Hey, I never wanted to get rid of Jimmy Butler. And regardless of what Tom says, Tom always says like he didn't want to be here, blah, blah, blah. Why do you think he didn't want to be here because of who? Pete, say it.
A guy that may never fucking play again in the fucking league.
So I always, when we got Jimmy Butler, I was screaming saying he's the missing piece because he's the actual closer. He's the glue guy. He is what we've been needing.
You needed toughness. You needed a leader. You needed somebody that was going to get in your face and tell you and call you out and give you accountability. And Embiid had that. Now, Embiid then and Embiid the player now, the player has grown exponentially with his skill set. Yes. But when he looked right now in game 5, he didn't win the MVP. He's talking about my face, this, and this. He needed Butler to be like, yo, all right, I get it. Can't do nothing about that shit. Let's play. Let's ball. Let's play ball. Like, that'd have been that dude. Now, you ain't got that. Like, it's almost like Embiid is looking for a big brother type of, like, there's nobody, and Harden just worried about getting paid and throwing money at the strip club, bro. Let's be honest. And for whatever reason, Daryl Morey, they had this infatuation with each other. Process is going to end up to be nothing. Watch. Bryce, listen, brother, I love you. I love you like a brother, Bryce. Not tonight.
Bryce,
He's a Heat fan. Not
I
tonight.
know he is. I know he is. I've known that. I'm just like, Bryce, don't even rub it in, man.
Y'all beat a wounded team. Y'all beat a wounded man. You beat
literally a literal
Joe
wounded team. Literal wounded team. A literal wounded team. Yeah. All right. So we both again back to the Eagles. We both feel better about the corner position than we do about safety position. If there was any of the guys that were gonna step up, who would you predict to be the guy to step in and be CB2 out of all the names that I mentioned?
I would have to say McPherson.
Same. Agree.
McPherson, yeah. I mean, just hopefully he gets it. He saw the game. He saw the speed that they play at. Hopefully he can take that stride. I mean, you may be one of the UDFA stick. I know you sent the picture. You sent us a video of it was Goodrich and Josh Joby. I forget which one you said. This guy's probably not. Was it Joby?
It was
Goodrich. It was Goodrich. Okay.
Goodrich.
Yeah, he cut backpedal. Lost.
There's absolutely no hip swivel. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm no football athlete. Obviously, I'm the farthest thing from it. But I've got better hip swivel than that, man. Like, come on. Your transition's got to be better than that. That looked so bad. That looks so bad. Come on. You got to be smoother than that to play corner. I didn't watch Goodrich, so I'm not trying to act like I studied.
He's the kid from Joby's from Alabama and Goodrich is from Auburn, right?
I think so. But Joby's out from Alabama. I watched a little bit of him because he was from Alabama.
He's a smaller guy, but
and he had a better 2020. He had a better 2020 than he had during 2021. So he had a down year last year. But I mean, like, I think Joby's skill set is more for your typical cover 3 kind of stuff, but I don't think he fits in what we want to do here. But I mean, we'll see. Goodrich though, I don't.
Xavier Rhodes, baby.
Xavier Rhodes, someone. I mean, Bradbury's still out there, but
let's get to the problem with Bradbury getting released. He has his choice of where he can go.
Yeah, I know.
That's the problem. You know what I mean? Like, I think isn't the Raiders interested? Wasn't he already with the Raiders before, or was it just the Panthers? It was the Panthers and the Giants, and that's it. That's his only 2 stops.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. From what I know. But let's get to the real sour part of this roster, the safety position. We got Marcus Epps. Okay, I don't care what the depth chart says on ESPN or anywhere. The 2 starters we know are going to be Anthony Harris and Marcus Epps. Okay.
Right. Cool with Epps. Go get me Jaqueski Tart, please.
If I would be cool with Epps if we had a better safety with okay. Yeah. You can't have 2 mediocre safeties and a high fly, not high fly. What's a type of safety like Epps who takes chances and flies around the field. You can't have that type of player taking risks when you have the other safety just not being able to be a playmaker. Like Anthony Harris is fine. He's okay. You can get by with Anthony Harris. You can't have two of the same level of players and expect to be successful on the back. I don't know what they see in Epps. I know a lot of people now are hyping him up. I think Epps is a ton of fun to watch. A ton of fun to watch. Easy to root for because of the way he plays. I really like watching.
He thinks this is a gladiator. He thinks this is a 300.
Yeah. He's just flying around the field and trying to get
bombs over Baghdad. But
it's so much fun to watch. And like I said, if I would feel a lot better if there was someone else next to him that was very high level. Like if we were able to get someone with good range to play on the back ends, if we were able to get just hypothetically, if we drafted Kyle Hamilton, then by all means put Epps at the other starting safety spot, because then it makes up for that. Like you can help mask some of that, some of his deficiencies. But both Harris and Epps together, it worries me. That's the spot. Obviously CB2, but if you had safeties, if you had safeties like a basket, CB2, you could get. I think you can see a scenario you can get by with McPherson, because at least McPherson is athletic enough. He's got high end athleticism. Oh my God, the safety position. It's really worrisome, and I just know, Pete. I'm saying it right now. I'm saying on May 12th, 2022, 4 months before the season starts. I know that we're going to be watching these games, and I'm going to be telling you, Pete, I'm going to be like, what the F are our safeties doing? I'm going to be
did we sign any UDFA safeties?
Blankenship. I don't know anything about him.
But it wouldn't take a lot of money to move around to sign Jaqueski Tart. It was a couple other corners, safeties. I mean, corners, you got Kevin King. Fuck the Washington, the DB didn't work out when you had Sidney Jones go try the other one.
Yeah, I know.
What world would you think, right? What world would you think that Kevin King, Sidney Jones, and Rasul Douglas get drafted in the same draft, and you got to pick one in 5 years that's not even going to be on the team? Out of those three, which one would you have told me that would still be on the team and one would be unemployed? Out of those three,
Sidney Jones.
It ain't him. He on his second contract, and Rasul probably looking at a second contract in Green Bay. That boy Kevin King, and he was on the same. Rasul beat him out.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, crazy world we live in. Rasul would be really good with us right now, wouldn't he? Oh my God.
Fucking Jim Schwartz.
Oh my God. All those times people just kept saying, no, he just sucks. And I kept saying, no, it's the scheme. I'm telling you, Rasul Douglas can play if you deploy him correctly. He has a certain skill set. He has a very certain set of skills, just like in the movie Taken. He has a particular
said he was Liam Neeson.
Said he was Liam Neeson. He has a particular set of skills, but you have to use them a certain way, man.
Oh shit!
Oh my God! Yeah, oh my God! I kept saying, and like I said, I was one of the ones who said, like, try him at safety. Like I didn't think that. It wasn't more so that I thought he could only play safety. Like when Rasul was here, you just had to find a way to use his ball skills to have him get his eyes to the quarterback. Let him not have to worry about reacting so much to the wide receiver and playing and because when he doesn't have to use athleticism and quickness and burst, and he just watches and uses his instincts and ball skills. Like you put him in that type of cover 2, cover 4 type of deployment where he's playing zone, he's watching the quarterback, and he's reacting to the quarterback as opposed to reacting to the wide receiver as much. Man, like you see what he does in Green Bay. Man, he just makes plays on the ball.
Yep.
God.
Takes chances, but you have a safeties behind him in Green Bay that kind of work out.
Yeah, and oh God, he just wasn't being used right. He wasn't being. And again, I'm not saying Rasul Douglas now is like a Pro Bowl corner. I'm not saying he's a Pro Bowl corner, but like he's a solid / good corner, a CB2 for Green Bay because he's being used right. He's being used correctly. So, we'll see. We will see what free agents we end up signing. If we sign them, we better sign them. Come on, Howie, we better sign some. Please sign some free agents. We need secondary help.
I don't think they have a lot of money left, but they can move stuff around. Obviously.
They can move stuff around, and at this point, free agents aren't going to be that much money. They're not going to cost much. I mean, you're going to bring them in on a 1-year deal, so it's not.
You got, like I said, you got Kevin King, Tart out there. You got Anthony Barr still out there, but I think they're pretty set at the linebacker position. There's a couple other safeties out there. I think Gibson is out there.
Okay, Tayshaun Gibson.
But those are like the two more key ones.
I would love Tart because I think Tart can play like everywhere. You can deploy
he just needs to
different
stay
ways.
healthy. That's all.
Yeah. All right, so that's our football talk. Let's go into No Huddle. Before we do, I'm going to read off our final sponsor of the day, which is Gleason's Bar, located in 6700 Mill Creek Ave, 11 PA. Use promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or online. Anything you want to talk? I know you touched on Doctor Strange. I haven't seen it. I don't know if you want to talk more, or is there anything else you want to talk about in the world of the world?
I know we kind of talked about the Tom Brady contract. Ridiculous. I think in his career so far, he's only made $317 million, and that's through taking snaps and proving himself. And he's going to make more and doing something else where he hasn't even done it once. So that's very interesting. Doctor Strange was, for those who've watched it, I liked it and I didn't like it. I understand why they did the things that they did. I will say this: it did not, for me, didn't progress as far with the MC. It didn't like. I'm trying to how I can say this without spoiling it for you. I'll say it was the male version of Black Widow. Like Strange, yeah, he wasn't the biggest character in the movie. Like
that doesn't surprise me. You know what? That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So Don, did they lock Amber Heard up for real?
I don't know. Did they? My wife Mary's been following that like anything. I could text her right now, and she.
Like they need to recast her character in fucking Aquaman 2.
They do. I think they will.
But they already shot it, right?
They shot stuff, but I mean, they pushed back. They pushed back the release date, so they still could make changes.
It's in. I think isn't it close to Christmas holidays this year?
I think it's farther now. Let me look. Aquaman 2 release date. Oh, March 2023.
Oh, so they did push it back again.
A lot farther, yeah. So they still could make changes. Not yet. Not yet. She cray, man. She cray. Did you see her testimony?
Yeah, where like she went through her like million emotions.
Yeah, the one part where she talks about her dog. Her dog got stung by a bee, and she made that like weird face like that. It's going viral now.
Yeah, her on the voice recording said, "I wasn't hitting you, I was punching you." Like stupid bitch.
Oh my god,
it's the same thing.
Oh, God,
Johnny had a jar of cocaine. Like John, like people, like it's Captain Jack Sparrow. I hope when all this is over with, that bitch runs out of the courthouse like Captain Jack Sparrow or stands on a chair. Stands on a fucking chair. Yeah, I will tell you this though. The editing is amazing because I never knew he was that fucking small. He is a short dude, bro. He's a small guy. Small guy.
Yes.
No Huddle wise. I mean, Avatar trailer visually looks stunning. I don't understand how we had two blue people and a white baby on the beach. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to watch.
I'm assuming. No, but that would make sense because the Avatar is all his DNA.
Right.
It's all I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that works.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe there's some type of screw up. I don't know. It looks great. I don't understand. Like I know there are a lot of people online that they never cared for the movie, and they're like they don't see the point in the sequel. I don't know if I'm part of the minority, but I really liked the first Avatar movie, and I'm excited for the second.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a little bit long, but visually we had never seen anything like that. Yeah. And you like this is going to push that even further. Especially like if you go see it in like a 4DX type theater, which I think the closest one to us is in King of Prussia, which I'm actually probably going to go see Thor: Love and Thunder in that theater. Maybe
don't do it. Waste the money.
It is. So okay, so
No,
explain.
I'm talking about Thor: Love and Thunder is a waste of money to go.
Oh yeah, that's probably what. It's just so hard, and this was what I told my boy. It's so hard after No Way Home and the Batman being obviously great movies in their own respect, but Alpha and Omega like completely opposite ends of the spectrum. But for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, no Tony Stark, no Captain America. You close the book on that whole thing, and when you had with No Way Home, 20 minutes into the movie, you get Matt Murdock as Daredevil, and you never fucking see him again. You get all three Spider-Mans in the same movie. It's like somebody just kept shooting their load for like 2 hours and kept getting it up. Like it's so hard to come back from. You see, Morbius was a flop. This isn't obviously this is better than Morbius, but this isn't. Doctor Strange is different, man. Doctor Strange is a different thing. It's a different type of movie. It gives you the action, but you have to go see it because it is what it is. But I mean, between that, it's just one of those things, man. It's just you got to go into it trying to expect it for what it is, because if you think you going into it, you watching something like No Way Home and MCU, just how I will say this, and them hitting home runs, movie after movie after movie after movie after movie, that streak is over, because these characters have not been built up enough to carry what Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther, not even Thor to a point, hasn't been strong enough to carry. And when you got Ant-Man, it's not strong enough. Doctor Strange, as much as Benedict Cumberbatch is a fucking great actor, what he is, it's not the same. That the superheroes themselves don't have the same appeal. What they should have done, what they really should have done to keep that ball rolling, they should have did a fucking Hawk movie. Like Hawk, Incredible Hulk movie. They should have did a Hulk movie by itself with Mark Ruffalo. Why they have not done that, how that's not in the works, is beyond me.
I don't know. I don't know why.
Dumb it down, and your main, most methodical, mindful character is going to be the villain, and you just have a green dude beating up shit and smashing shit.
Yeah, I don't know what the reluctance has been to give. I don't know if Mark Ruffalo doesn't want to be in a movie. I don't know, but you would think that would have been. I mean, when you're this deep into the MCU now, you have to find other ways to touch on different stories, and I get that. Like, I'm excited for Blade. You know, some of these other characters coming out, like, there's excitement for them, but it's very difficult because it's a lot of what you said, and I touched on it before. I touched on it before in the past when I said, like, it feels weird moving forward with Iron Man and Cap.
Yep.
It's like they were always the front and center of the MCU, and now that they're not there, you're looking for someone to pick up the slack. And obviously, the first person that comes to mind is Spider-Man, and they started that off beautifully with No Way Home. Great, that's phenomenal, obviously. But outside of him, like, how are you going to tie everything in? How are you going to really now capture this next segment of Marvel magic? Because, man, everyone knew for the first 4 phases, all buildup was toward Infinity War and Endgame. That was the buildup. Everyone anticipated it. Everyone knew what was coming, but it was a long drawn out process. Right. And along the way, we had some flops, obviously, but we had some really great moments along the way. Like, you had the Captain America movies were phenomenal. You had, Ant-Man, you had Guardians of the Galaxy, like all these movies that built that up to that long payoff. It was such a great way of doing it. Now, we don't know what is the end game now. What is the, like, I say that figuratively, but what is now their end game here? What is the what are we building up to? What is this
it's
story?
definitely something multiverse related. And I'll say this without spoiling too much. They did that in this movie. They imagine sparking a flame, getting a reaction like you got in Ed Game from the crowd, and then immediately 15 minutes later stomping the mud hole in that fucking flame like you're Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, and that's disappointing. But I guess I can't. If my hunch is correct, I can understand why. But it is still disappointing.
Because there's 4 letters that will get you back. You have to find a way to do it. The first letter is an X. The last
we all know what it is. We all know what it is, Pete.
You gotta find a fucking way. You gotta find a way to make it happen.
That is the key right there. Like you got Spider-Man already, right? You were able to work something out with Sony. Were you able to bring Spider-Man to the MCU, and you do it fantastically. You got to get them incorporated. They were always the missing piece. Okay, yep. Not the missing piece. I don't say that. Let me retract that. They were always the piece of the puzzle that was like, oh yeah, I wonder what it would have been like if they were able to be in it. Like, imagine a proper Civil War movie. As great as Civil War is like a top. No, that still is my favorite.
But they remember X-Men did that Civil War in the 70s.
Yeah. So like, imagine if you were able to incorporate X-Men into some of these storylines of Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, Phase 4. Like, imagine that. Imagine the scope of everything. So you weren't able to. You still got great stuff, and that's phenomenal. And so it's not that they were a missing piece. It was more so like, what if? But now that you're missing a centerpiece aside from Spider-Man, you've got to find a way to put X-Men into this, man. Like that's what everyone loves X-Men. That what Fox has pretty much killed what they've been doing with X-Men. Like that third X-Men movie with Phoenix, it was horrible. There's no way
they could use that bitch in this movie. I'll tell you that. They could have used her. They could have used her in this movie.
Oh God. Like, you have to bring those characters in. That's how you're going to spark it. And again, that's for me. I still feel like with this new phase, I don't know what the end game is. I don't know who's going to step in as a centerpiece aside from Spider-Man, because you need something to build around, someone to build it around. So,
I mean, it's definitely the center is definitely Spider-Man, but you need that number 2, and that's where you had Iron Man, you had Cap, and then you had Thor, and you kind of looked at all 3, and you was like, really, all 3 of these bitches can be like the head, and but then they kind of found out their roles, where it's really like Spider-Man and everybody else. Captain Marvel shit didn't work out. You know what I mean? As far as the movie itself, maybe when Black Panther 2 comes out, maybe. But I mean, I think honestly, I hand to God, man. I think DC about to get hot, bro.
Yeah, I can feel it too.
You got Black Adam coming out. You got the Flash movie coming out, and it's going to be shot different.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like with the Super Brights. It's going to be darker, but it's still going to be heroes related. You know what I mean?
Yep. So yeah, he brings up a good point. Number 2 should be Deadpool. We'll see where they go with that. We'll see what they do with Daredevil and Punisher and all that. Kingpin. I will say, I want to say this for next week. Have y'all seen Moon Knight yet?
I'm gonna watch it within the next week. I know you watched it. I'm gonna start it.
Watch it. It's only 6 episodes, so you'll get through it really quick. Watch it. We'll talk about it next week because I have a lot to say. Don, tune in next week. Obviously, you're always here. But yeah, next week we'll definitely touch on it. I definitely want to talk about give my thoughts on Moon Knight. But that'll wrap it up for us this week. We're able to give you 2 hours. I wasn't sure if we'll be able to give you 2 hours, but we did. 2 hours. Sixers fans, Season's over. It was a fun season.
That's it, bro. It's kind of a sigh of relief. They needed to rebuild. You can't mask what you thought they were, man. It's Tampa Bay Eagles all over again.
Tampa Bay Eagles, yeah.
Just with a better player. Just with a better player.
Yeah. I heard Joel Embiid.
Yep.
That was. So I'm sure the other guys over at the other show, the live action show, are giving you a lot of that. So flip over to them if you haven't already. We appreciate you for tuning in as usual. We will start our positional rankings in a few weeks. So we'll see we'll what else we can do to fill in some time. But we will be here to talk football with you all summer. Thanks to our sponsors for being there for us and giving us their support as well. And we appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. We got some fun stuff ahead in other shows too. So always make sure you check all the other shows out. Give them your love and support. Every day we've got a different show for you as usual. So myself, Chucks, and my boy Pete, we appreciate you guys. We love you. God bless. Stay safe. We will see you in a week as usual. Same time, same place. And until then, peace out.
Peace.